Now, we continue our lesson with topic 2, mixture. A mixture is made up of two or more different elements, or compounds, that are mixed physically, but not combined chemically. Not combined chemically is referring to no chemical reaction is occurred when the mixture is formed. Since no chemical reaction take place during the mixturing, there will have three scenarios to be concerned. The first, no energy change, that is no light or heat released or absorbed involved. The second, no new substance is formed. The third, it can be physically separated, using appropriate method. These are the three properties of mixtures and mixing process. There are three types of mixture. The first is elements mixtures. It is formed when more than one type of element is together. The second is compounds mixtures. Compounds mixtures is formed when more than one types of compounds are mixed together. The third is elements compounds mixtures. Elements compounds mixtures is formed when element and compound are mixed. These are the types of mixture. Here is an example of mixture. Milo drink is a mixture made up of Milo powder, sugar, and water. Here is a question for you: is water and ice combination a mixture? And why? I believe you have the answer. Now, we will discuss the methods to separate mixture. As a mixture is formed when the original components are mixed physically. It can be separated physically too. When a mixture is separated physically, substances are produced but the original components are retrieved. The method to be used in mixture separation is depending on the two subject. The first is physical properties of the components that make up the mixture. Example of physical properties is melting point, boiling point, density, and solubility. These physical properties of materials have been discussed in Chapter 5. The second subject is the targeted components to be obtained from the mixture. That is, either component 1 or component 2, as shown in the image. This is the two subjects need to be considered when you are selecting the methods to separate the mixture. The follows are the 6 methods to separate a mixture physically. The first is filtering. The second is distillation. The third is separation using magnet. The fourth is sedimentation method. The fifth is floating method. The sixth is chromatography. These 6 methods will be detailed in the following part of the lesson. The first method is filtering. Filtering is the method of separating mixture that using filter funnel and filter paper, at which the mixture must fulfill the following condition. About the physical properties, it must be a mixture of insoluble solid and liquid. About the targeted components to be obtained, it can be either the insoluble solid or liquid. This is the two condition of mixture for the filtering method to be selected. During the filtering, filter paper acts as a sieve, which has tiny pores that can only allow the smaller liquid particles to pass through it. And the bigger insoluble solid particles, trapped on the filter paper, pass through the filter paper, is called filtrate. The insoluble solid particles that remain on the filter paper is called residue. Mixture of sand and water is the mixture that can be separated using filtering. For the next, the distillation method to be discussed. Distillation is the method that involves two processes, it is boiling and condensation. For your recall, boiling process is the process where matter change its state from liquid to gas, and it happen in boiling point. Whereas, condensation process is the process where matter change its state from gas to liquid. Condensation process happened when the gas flow to an environment where its temperature is lower than boiling point. Distillation is suitable to separate the mixture with the following physical properties. First, it is a mixture of soluble solid and a solution. Example, mixture of salt and water. It must be miscible liquid-liquid mixture, that they have different boiling point. Example, a mixture of alcohol and water. During distillation, the salt solution is heated to the water boiling point. It continue until water is completely changed to water vapor, then water vapor is cooled. And it condenses to form pure water. The pure water is collected from Liebig condenser, is called distilled water, or distillate. The salt left behind is called residue. Distillation process can be used to separate a mixture of water and alcohol, which have different boiling point. Alcohol normally have a lower boiling point than water. When the mixture is reaching 78 degrees Celsius, the temperature of the mixture will remain constant at 78 degrees Celsius for a few moments, until ethanol is completely distilled out from the mixture. Temperature will continue to raise until 100 degrees Celsius, where water started to distill out. This distillation is called fractional distillation. Fractional distillation is used in oil and gas industry to separate petroleum to its fractions, such as petrol, kerosene, and diesel fuel. The third method, separation using magnet. As magnets have property to attract magnetic substances, it can be used to separate mixtures of magnetic and non-magnetic substances. The example of magnetic metals are iron, nickel and cobalt. The example of non-magnetic metals are gold, bronze, and aluminium. In general, non-metals material are non-magnetic materials. The mixture of iron and sulfur powder are the example of the mentioned mixture. When a magnetic bar is held near to the mixture of iron and sulfur powder, the iron powder is attracted to magnetic bar, and sulfur powder will remain in the dish. In food industry, magnetic separator is used to ensure that the metal pieces, such as iron particles, are not mixed with food products. The fourth method, sedimentation method. Sedimentation is used to separate mixture of liquid and insoluble solid. During the sedimentation process, the heavy insoluble solid will settle down to the bottom of the mixture, due to the gravity. A mixture of water and sand can be separated, using sedimentation method. When the mixture of water and sand, undisturbed for some time, sand will sediment, and two layers will be formed. Sand sediment to the bottom of container, because sand is insoluble, and denser than water. To separate the water and sand, water at the upper layer need to be transferred into another container, without disturbing the sediment, the sand at the bottom layer. Sedimentation method is used in water treatment process to obtain clean and safe water for the use of bathrooms, cooking, and drinking. The fifth method is floating method. Floating method is used to separate mixture of two immiscible liquids with different densities. Immiscible liquids are liquids that do not dissolve in one another. In floating method, the mixture of the two immiscible liquids with different densities. For example, mixture of oil and water filled in a funnel. Liquid with lower density, oil will float onto the top of mixture, and two layers of liquids is formed inside the separating funnel. Open the tap of the funnel and let the water at the bottom layer flow out into the beaker. Then, the oil is drained out to another beaker. The two liquids are separated. Now, we discuss the sixth method, chromatography method. Chromatography method is used to separate small amounts of substances from a mixture, based on the differences in solubility of the components in a particular solvent. This method is used to separate two or more components that dissolve in same solvent in a very small amount. For example, a green food coloring, which is the mixture of yellow and blue coloring. To separate the coloring, 1 drop of green coloring is put paper. The filter paper is hung in a glass jar using lid. And, the end of the filter paper, is dipped into an ethanol. The ethanol is ensured not touch the green spot of food coloring. After a short while, ethanol soak up to the filter paper and carries the green food coloring with it. Different substance in the green food spot will move up the filter paper at different rate. In food industry, chromatography method is used to analyze the sample of food coloring to identify the substance existed in a food sample. Chromatography method also used to document fraud by separating the dyes in the ink used. Alright, this is all the content of topic 2, mixture.